Hey friends, Boundless Divine here, artist, organizer, and spiritually based mental health advocate. And this is Divine Time. Alrighty, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. With that being said, we're gonna get into the topic for today, which is the ancestral, communal, and generational healing power of love. And I'm really excited to get into it. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about bloodlines and ancestors, talking about self-awareness, what is love, and more. We're going to end with also a final reflection, so stay tuned. Okay, so in Ifa, there's a saying that when you heal 16 generations before you and 16 generations to come. And that's really cool to think about, right? Because it's like when you think of 16 generations before you, obviously those are your ancestors. And within our bloodlines and our ancestry, we're able to see like lots of patterns of behavior, of giftings and anointings and blessings, and also some things that it's like, oh, maybe we should tweak this and move forward in another way. And that's so powerful. And so knowing your ancestry and your ancestors is like a powerful tool of empowering yourself through self-awareness. And a really big example of this and underrepresented, like one that you don't hear about a lot, is actually in the Bible. And so, the Bible, when you first hear about Jesus, the first thing that you hear about him is his bloodline, his ancestors. Like Matthew starts with, it's like the first whatever chapters is just talking about everyone who came before his like legal father, Joseph, Jacob, going on to King David, like a king, and then Abraham of, Father Abraham, have any sons? Yeah, I actually could dance. Don't laugh at me, please. Cyberbullying is mean. But anyway, it's like all these people were like related and they were a whole bunch of leaders. And then who comes like generations after, like one of the most well-known leaders of all time. Like even if you're not Christian, like me, I'm not, but it's like you can respect the what's the word? The width or whatever, the reach of this person. And like that way that person is introduced is through his ancestors, and that's so cool. And another thing that's cool that I noticed when reading this is that a lot of the names were repeated. And so like going to ancestral veneration, there's so many different ways that you can do that, and maybe eventually I'll make an episode on that. You can let me know if you're interested in the comments. But like a simple way, or I guess it's big, but like naming your children after your ancestors, even if it's the middle name, but just giving, it's a great way of allowing like your history to continue through the family. And so then going back to like the original point, Jesus, from a bunch of leaders, he became a leader. And so like when we talk about, like Black people, right? People who are a lot of whom are descendants of enslaved people, they don't have the ability to know who their ancestors are. I'm Haitian, like I'm the first generation of my family to be born on this land. And so like I have like more privileges to like know some about who my family is, but I don't know much past like a great grandmother, because a lot of that information is like in Haiti and so hard to get. But anyway, like, so, when you think about like even the simple things of like white privilege, when people are like, well, my life hasn't always been easy, it's like, well, yeah, like we understand there's nobody in this world who has an easy life. That's part of the human experience, right? But just being able to trace your ancestors to like Ellis Island and beyond, and like I know someone who brags about like their family being one of the first people in this country. I'm like, homie, do you even know what that means? Like, what? But anyway, like so just knowing who you come from is like such an important and powerful thing, and like not everybody does, and like that's okay. And there's different ways you can go about going, right? So if you are in a position where you have elders in your family who are alive, ask them questions. Be like, grandma, who was your grandma? What were they like? Like, tell me things about, what you did growing up. What are some of the sayings that the aunties and uncles in the neighborhood were saying to you? What did your mom tell you before bed? And then share those stories with your cousins and siblings, and, you know, ask when everybody's in the room, family dinners. Like, I'm always the one who's like, so, like, tell me about Haiti, like, you know, casually. But it's important, and share those stories with as many people in your family as possible, so there's as many people as possible to continue them on, right? And so, and if you aren't in a position where you're able to like speak to elders, and, you know, there are different websites where you can Google your ancestry and stuff, but it's hard. It's a lot of research, and some of us aren't research type people. But do not fret, because like everything that you need to know about who you are from your ancestors, like in terms of that, is inside you, baby. It's inside you. Like your smile, your dimples, your sense of humor, your fire, the passion that you have about certain things, your spiritual gifting. Some of y'all walk around seeing stuff, you're like, I don't know what's happening. Like a lot of that is your ancestors, is your bloodline. And so that's okay. Like, lean in. When I go to my altars and I'm speaking to ancestors, known and unknown, named and unnamed, I'm saying like ancestors who were probably, and I speculate, I'm like farmers. I'm from Haiti, like lots of farmers, people who love to dance. Like I said, I'm Haitian, so love to dance, artists. Did I hear confirmation on any of my family being artists? No, but my mom loves to sing. My brothers are musicians. Well, one's a doctor, but he literally gets song lyrics in sleep. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, I love to make music and sing. So obviously it come from artists, right? So just using things that I know about myself and being like ancestors who are probably this and that and that. That's just a great way of just, you know, bringing energy to who they were, right? And so it's important to know, like, why am I talking about ancestors, and what is that? How does that influence community? Because it's like, you have no idea who you're talking to. Like, you have no idea whose descendant you're walking by. Like, going back from the Jesus example, like there are people who could have seen mans walking around and been like, who is this carpenter? He was a carpenter, right? He was some sort of hand thingy, but who is this person who's trying to do all these things? And it's like, you don't even know he's the son of the son of the son of the son of this person and that person, with all these anointings and generations of leadership blessings. All you're seeing is like, this person has influence and clout that I want, right? And so, like, let's unpack that, because envy is spiritual warfare. I saw a post online and it was like, envy is, I'm paraphrasing because I don't know when I saw it, but it was like, envy is funny because it's just like, you're admired by someone or inspired by someone and that makes you mad. And it's like, well, that's literally it. Like, that's literally it. Envy is so weird. And it's like, we can be mad at people because they have certain gifts and talents and things, but it's like, you have no idea why they have it. You don't know who their great-great-great-great-grandma was. You don't know like who's spiritual and has all these gifts that you're like jealous of, that they spent maybe 5 lifetimes themselves practicing, or that they inherited from like the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather who was like, you know, one of the most powerful mystics in the neighborhood and used it to like save the people. And, you know, I'm just spinning a tale here, but like you can follow, right? And I have to spin these tales because a lot of us don't know these stories about who we come from. And so it's like, we have to love each other. And like, I know there's probably someone on here who's like, I'm not envious. I love everybody. I want to help everybody. Like, that's a really well-intentioned lie. Like, I agree, like, we should help people. We should aim to like, you know, put other people on, but it's not fair to yourself and to the people around you to say that you don't experience envy, because envy is normal. Like, we experience all types of emotions every day. Like, there's a word for it. I forget what it's called, but it's like when you just have a thought that it's like wild. Like, you think something like, I'm gonna just like throw this thing across the room. Like, you don't actually want to do it. You're not even upset, but like those weird invasive. But anyway, I'm saying that to say that we all think all types of things. So to tell me, so you're going to tell me that you've never been jealous of your friends. And I'm not saying that like envy is a good thing and that we should like celebrate it, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I'm saying it's something that just has to be identified. Like, if you find yourself being triggered by the success or the status or the looks or the relationship of someone around you or someone online, because social media is so easy to compare, like, take stock of yourself and be like, okay, we feel like we're lacking in this area. What are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? And take actions accordingly, and making sure that you don't let that impact your friendships, right? Like, you know, going back to love, right? And why I'm even talking about this, the communal power of love. So Ifa, on like several readings, and even when I started reading for myself with tarot, I kept getting enemies after enemies after enemies. And I'm like, what's good? Like, I literally don't start problems with people. Like, if y'all know me on an interpersonal level, you know, like, I don't even leave the house a lot. Like, I'm chill. I don't like confrontation. Like, I have an Aquarius stellium, okay? I'm a Libra moon and rising. I don't like starting beef with people, but people like starting beef with me sometimes. No, I rebuke that. I don't want more of that energy, but that's been a recurring thing in my life. And if I was like, yo, these people you think are your friends, they're not your friends, right? And so I was like confused. But upon reflecting on everything, I was like, oh, baby girl was jealous. And that's fine. I get that because I've been jealous of a friend too. But the difference is like, I literally, when I am at my altars, one of the things I pray for is like, allow me to have the character that allows me to be a good friend. Allow me to be a blessing to the people that you sent to bless me. Do you have that type of personality? Are you the person who's like, I'm just trying to be the best and trying to get ahead regardless? Because you don't know who you're hurting. Like, that person was literally my Judas. Like, I put so much love and care and affection, so much information, introduced this person to so many people and stabbed me in the heart. And it's like, when we talk about the power of love, like, how many people's assignments were cut short because of love? Like, how many people get cheated on in a relationship and decide that they'll never like have a good relationship again, and then they cheat on someone or they cause an issue for someone, and like, you know, then we just create cycles of like manipulation and gaslighting, and then like having kids with the wrong people, and then like hurt people, just hurting people over and over again. When it's like, all you could have done was some shadow work. And if you're like, what's shadow work? Run back to my last episode because I talk about it. But you know what I mean? And like, and that's why, like, part of self-awareness is, like, understanding that, like, the things that people say about me when they like me, people like me because they like themselves. They don't like me because I reflect something of themselves that they don't like. I don't go out to harm people, but that's love. And, like, I could have been hurt and stayed hurt and decided that I'm not holding people close to me or whatever. But the universe sent mad, lovely, wonderful people in my life, like, after that. Isn't it funny how that goes? Like, you know, a lot of really harmful or painful things happen, but then blessings come. And if I had let that make me hard, then I wouldn't be able to be in the position to be open and loving and to share information. I'd be like, the last time I shared information with people, it bit me in the butt. And so I'll be super close-lipped. And then like, look at all the people now, more and more who coming to the YouTube channel. Like, y'all are being blessed because I decided to keep loving. I decided to keep knowing that and trusting that who I am is worthy and good enough. And you should too. Who you are is worthy. Who you are is good enough. Who you are is lovable. Who you are is capable. Who you are is anointed for something. We all are anointed for something. Like, your strengths, weaknesses, all of this, like we said, like perfectly, fearfully, and wonderfully made. Like, you have an assignment, and you're not going to know that assignment by looking at someone else and comparing yourself to theirs, and you're not going to get there by coveting in it. And when you love, like when you really love, then you're able to be like, I love myself so much that I'm able to love someone else, and I feel so empowered within myself that I'm able to empower others. And instead of being jealous of someone else's anointing and assignment, I'm going to figure out, how can I help you? I really believe in that thing that you're doing, even if it has nothing to do with me and it brings me no glory. That's love. That's love. And I'm sure that through doing that, you're going to be inspired by something that brings blessings to something that you do want to do, right? Like, that's the universe, baby. That's life. Like, if you're just like, I don't want to say just spiritual, but if you don't have like a certain balloon or whatever box to your faith and you identify as just like spiritual, you know, the laws of karma, when you put things out into the universe, it comes back to you. If you put love into the universe, love comes back to you. If you invest in people's dreams and goals, then people will come to invest in dreams and goals. And something that my pastor said is that you don't always sow where you put the seeds, but you sow somewhere. I did not say that right. But basically what Mans was saying is that, like, you might not always get the blessings back at the place where you dropped the seed, where you made the deposit. You might cash out from another bank account, okay? So, like, just because people hurt you before, just know that no love that you ever gave, no act of service, no act of kindness that you ever gave will come back void. Like, it'll always come back to you in different ways, shapes, or forms. And that's why you gotta be grateful, because you could be missing all these blessings and rewards from the universe, thinking about all those people who hurt you, who got away scot-free. I promise you they didn't. Like, not to whatever, but you get that. You'll know. Like, the universe might not always tell you, and you shouldn't keep tabs on people who hurt you. It just delays the healing. But I promise, it always comes back. It always comes back. It always comes back. So it's fine. But yeah, like, you just gotta keep loving. Like, you have no idea who's walking around. Like, and I just think about, like, you know, all these incredible people, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, like, they had friends. Like, Maya Angelou, oh my gosh, Maya Angelou, Angela Davis. I combined the two. But they had friends, like, you know what I mean? Like, so not everybody is meant to be the face of a movement or the star of the show, but there's someone who lights the stage and it's just, we're all so important. And so we can't be jealous, and we just have to love ourselves to know what we're here to do, so we can put our whole heart in it and love one another enough that we want to share. And like, when we love one another, then like the issues and the conditions surrounding the world are personal. When you love the world, then like, access to food and healthcare feels personal for you. Environmental racism feels personal for you. Institutional like racism and oppression at the hands of the state, it feels personal to you, because you're like, this is personal to me, because this is affecting somebody's great grandchild who deserves to be loved. We all deserve to be loved. And so just love. Like, there's so much healing and power that comes in that. And one of the best examples of love and definitions of love is actually in the Bible, in my opinion, right? So I'm just gonna read that real quick when I find my notes. I threw my notebook down. Okay, so it goes as follows. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And that's 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8, if you're interested. And I'm gonna repeat that last line. Love never fails. Love never fails. And I'm sure you heard that phrase, you know, or that scripture being read at like weddings or something. That's where it's most common, at least to my knowledge. But that applies to all types of love. Like that includes the love of community. Like, are you patient with people? Like, you literally have no idea what people are going through. Like, I don't know if you've seen the news cycle, but like, yeah, another successful, beautiful, talented, loving person decided to leave the earth because they just couldn't handle it anymore. You have no idea what people are going through. People are doing the best that they can to make it through the day. And like, it might seem like people have everything. Oh, they're beautiful. Oh, they're talented. Oh, they have all this money. And you put so much hate and envy and fear because there's like this idea that there's not enough, and you have no idea that they want to just be able to talk about how they feel. Like, I've literally had a therapist tell me when I was in high school, like, oh, you have good grades and you're pretty and you have lots of friends. Why are you upset? Like, you know how, like, that's damaging to try to undermine how people are feeling. But we do that to people every day because we don't have the patience to just sit down and be like, hey, where are you at? How are you feeling? Like, what's going on with you? Like, you know what I mean? And so like, just like, you have no idea what people got going on. So it doesn't take anything from you to smile and be a kind person. And even if that person isn't able to give it back to you, someone else will. So just love. And that includes love for yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Like, what? Like, don't rejoice in evil, but whatever truth, like however that thing was, like, don't do things that you know will hurt you and self-sabotage and be around people and exes and things that bring you harm. Like, you know what the truth is, you know what's good for you. Like, live in your truth, live in that light. That is love. Love protect yourself. It didn't say love is codependent. It didn't say love people pleases. Love protects. If you love yourself, you protect yourself. You would honor your boundary. You would honor the boundaries of those who tell you what their capacity is. You would make the necessary adjustments to know who fits into where in your life. Like, that's understanding, right? And so love, love, love. That's how we heal ourselves. That's how we heal our communities. That's how we heal our bloodline. That's how we literally heal the world. Like, when they say love never fails, love never fails. Like, love never fails, okay? And so the reflection for the end of this isn't a journal prompt, it's a challenge. And it's actually, so for the next 3 days, and you could do it for the rest of your life, I hope you do, but just for the next 3 days, be really mindful whenever, I was gonna say life gives you lemons, but no, that's not it. Whenever life puts you in the position where you're like, meh, I'm feeling upset by this, maybe when one of your triggers arises, or something that used to, like a habit, an opportunity comes on, that is something that you're trying to leave behind. It's like, ooh, someone texts you in the middle of the night and you're like, I'm trying to be better. Ask yourself, what would love do, right? What would love do? How would love respond to this person? Not react, right? Because reacting is quick, it's impulsive, but responding is something that takes thoughtful consideration. How would love respond to the situation? How would love treat the server? How would love treat the educator? How would love treat the child? How would love treat themselves? What would love do? When a negative thought comes and you're like, blah, I'm drowning in it, speaking to me, I'm looking at myself right now. When the negative thought comes, what would love say? What would love say to me in this moment? How would love reassure me? What plans would love make? What would love do? Okay? So that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad to be in community with you. I'm thankful to like the divine and God, Oldemare, all of that for just making this possible. I'm thankful to your ancestors who trusted you enough to come to me as someone to just journey with in this lifetime. I'm very, very grateful. Like, I literally pray for y'all. Like, I pray for the people that come to this because all right, let me not get on the high horse. I love you. If you want to send me a love donation for the energy, information exchange, to get more jewelry, crystals, I could be blessed. I do other stuff too, don't worry. But I could be blessed via Cashapp at Boundless Divine or buy me a coffee at Boundless Divine. You can also find your girl on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Boundless Divine. And that's all. You can share this video with someone that you think it could help. Again, check out the shadow work video if you didn't see it already. And before you go, just remember that my throat, you are good. You are good. You are worthy, and you are loved. Never forget who you are, because this world needs your light. Be kind with yourself, because practice makes progress and all things come in divine time. And as you leave this space, may you go in peace, in love, in pleasure, purpose, and prosperity. In the name of love, Ashe. Thanks for being here. I love you. Bye.